Carmel, Hannah Lack, and Mallory Burkwan, and that's about it.
What about Kenzie Wood?
Hello and welcome to the Eric Clark Activity Center. I'm Casey Stephens, and joined alongside me is Gigi Welp. Gigi, tonight's matchup is the 3-15 Carmel Greyhounds going up against the 16-2 Fishers team. Now, while Carmel may be the underdog, no pun intended, it may be something to look forward to. This game is going to provide Fishers possibly to continue their 10-game win streak, possibly going up to 11, and that points scored total with a 1,057 points scored on this season. Numbers just going to continue to rise. While on the other side, this Carmel team just losing their last matchup. Now, they're coming in here not having the best record, but do you think this game may turn some things around, or is it just going to be another setback towards their kind of lonesome season?
You know, Casey, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I don't think Carmel's going to win this game. They are not even within the top 50 to 100 rankings in Indiana. Fishers is at number 4 in the state. And while Carmel did have a fantastic win against Westfield, who has a much better record than them, I still think that this Fishers team, with their leading scorer, Haley Smith, is just too much for this Carmel team. What do you think? Absolutely.
Haley Smith, Olivia Smith, and Talia Harris. You and I talked earlier, those are the 3 players to look at in this game, all averaging above 10 points per game. And those are going to be the key factors going up against this Carmel Lady Hounds team, with really leading scorer Izzy Shepard out with a lot of lower body injuries, and that kind of took away the scoring overall and a lot of that defense. But Hannah Lack and Mallory Burkwan stepped up throughout this entire season. Mallory Burkwan being called up after only 3 games playing JV. And most recently, we saw her score 18 points in their January 7th 70-27 win over Fort Wayne Southside. Gigi, what do you think you're going to see throughout the rest of this game?
Well, you know, Casey, Mallory Burkwan has improved so much as a player. I used to watch her just this season playing on JV, and I noticed that she was fantastic. Not even 2 games into the JV girls season for this Carmel Lady Hounds team, she got called right up to varsity, and now she, along with Mackenzie Woods, are the leading sophomores of this team with Izzy Shepard out.
Absolutely, and with that, we're going to just have a quick break. Stay tuned for a minute left before the game is going to go to tip-off. Gigi, we're going to see a prime matchup, the 3-15 Carmel Greyhounds against the 16-2 Fisher Tigers.
Fisher Tigers.
Welcome back to the Eric Clark Activity Center. Gigi, this game may be a change in the Carmel seeding for the playoffs, but for this Fishers team being 4th ranked in the state of Indiana, kind of already certifying themselves in the playoffs, being 16-2, only losing 2 games. And we saw this Carmel team losing 15 games this season, but only winning 3. Now those 3 games, 2 of them came very recently. We saw the Fort Wayne Southside win, and we also saw the Columbus North win. Both players that I want to highlight from those wins would be Mallory Burkwan and Hannah Latch. Both players kind of stepping up with Izzy Shepard out. How do you think this Carmel team is competing against these teams without one of their star sophomores, Izzy Shepard?
Well, you know, Casey, Izzy Shepard, surprisingly as a sophomore, managed to carry this team throughout the first half of the season, but unfortunately she is out. Several lower body injuries, and since then Carmel has definitely struggled a lot more than they were struggling before. However, Mackenzie Woods and Mallory Burkwan have come forward to take Izzy Shepard's place as the leading sophomores on this team, and Hannah Lack, reigning senior, is definitely the leader of this team. Her aggressiveness and her pure just beastness has been absolutely just necessary for this Carmel team.
You know, this Carmel team may have a rough season, but I think that they are in the rebuilding stage, having plenty of sophomores called up to play on this varsity team, a few of them being called up from JV, including Mallory Burkwine. Brooke Thorne started the season on the JV squad, as well as I believe it was Riley McBride also started on JV, but got injured and was called up to varsity, and I saw her earlier this game having a brace on her left ankle, which she injured earlier this season, and I think she's going to get some playing time, but it may be quite limited. But Gigi, to highlight some players from the Fisher squad, Jordan Smith and Talia Harris, 2 players, both juniors, out there to start this game for this Fisher squad. Very strong scorers. Do you think that they may be shut down by Taryn Fisher, who's kind of been a stud on defense, or is this Fishers team not going to let Carmel get in their head and just kind of run the court and make the game go at their own pace?
Well, you know, Casey, when Fishers has gone up against a very strong defensive team such as Fort Wayne Snyder, their leading scorer, Haley Smith, only managed to get 11 points, whereas Alicia Triplett had to come through with the 14 points to win that game for them.
And just as the game starts, tip is going to go to this Carmel team, and it's going to be Mackenzie Woods just going to dribble it, try and look for her team to move around. She's going to give it up to Hannah Latch, back over to Keelan Gatlin, who's just going to get kind of locked up quickly. This Fishers team's going to swarm as Taryn Fisher gets smacked on the back of the head, and no foul called. Fishers is just going to drive, and that's going to be Haley Smith, the top scorer for this team. We saw her earlier take a lot of corner threes, a shot that she can hit most of the time, and ball's just going to go off the top clock. Olivia Smith with the shot, and it's going to go out of bounds. Gigi, so far no scoring. 1 foul that I think should have been called for Taryn Fisher to go to the line, but nothing has been called. Do you think these refs may be on just trying to get the game to go, or are they just going to let these girls play physical?
I think they're just going to let these girls play physical. This is a very physical match, is what I've seen so far. Within the first 30 seconds, Taryn Fisher getting smacked on the top of the head. That was a very brutal foul. However, no foul called.
Mackenzie Woods is going to have it, gives it up to Gatlin. Gatlin at the top of the key, gives it back to Woods. Woods is going to get guarded. It looks like this Fishers team is going to run a man defense, just kind of follow the person that they are going to guard and make sure no one else can get the ball. Janie Elliott's going to direct traffic here, gives it up to Taryn Fisher. Taryn Fisher most recently scored 9 points in their matchup against Columbus North on January 10th. We saw her have a stud game as well. And a quick shot from Janie Elliott. Ball's just going to go off the back rim. Rebound for this Fishers team. Jordan Smith is going to give it up. She's going to have possession. Gives it over to Talia Harris. Jordan Smith back with the ball. Gives it over to Olivia Smith. Back up to Jordan Harris at the top of the key. Gigi, zone defense for this Carmel team, kind of coming out with it strong. Fishers hasn't been able to break it so far. Do you think with only 2 minutes to play, 2 minutes so far in this first quarter of play, do you think they're going to break it? And as they do, Gigi, what did you see so far?
They just broke it. I mean, Carmel is a very more defensive team than they are offensive. However, Fishers, again, like I said, number 4 in the state. I don't think that Carmel Stevens is a match for Fishers offense just so far from what I've seen.
And Taryn Fisher is just going to kind of retreat a little bit, getting locked up by Olivia Smith, top defender for this Fishers team. Maybe that's why they are 16-2 on the season. 4th ranked team in the state of Indiana, going up against not even a top 100 team in this Carmel Lady Hounds team, but Taryn Fisher's going to have the ball after a Hannah Lack pass, and she's going to go in for the layup, and it's going to go in. Those are the first 2 points for this Carmel team. Gigi, Taryn Fisher kind of taking that star role after Izzy Shepard went out earlier this season after dropping 28 points against Warren Central. Taryn Fisher kind of steps up. What have you seen from her?
You know, well, Casey, you said she was very good at defense, and I've seen that. I've also seen her be incredibly aggressive and ruthless on offense. Just in this 3 minutes of playing, she's definitely a very valuable asset to this Carmel team. As now Mackenzie Woods has the ball.
Mackenzie Woods is going to try and drive in, going to get pushed out to the perimeter, and a lot of three-point shots for this Carmel team. We see them throughout this season not really shoot a lot of threes, and the points for this Carmel team is around 45.2, while on the other side of the ball, 58.5 points are scored per game for this Fishers team. But Carmel, Aaron Trimpe is going to call a quick timeout, 5 minutes, 4 seconds in this first quarter of play, score 2-4. Gigi, what have you seen so far in this game that stands out to you?
Well, you know, Casey, I've really just seen the Fishers offense stand out. They are seemingly unstoppable. Although Carmel's defense is very good, Fishers defense, especially with Haley Smith and Olivia Smith, who, from looking at them right now, I think they are twins. They are currently leading the Fishers team with just their aggressiveness and their physical brutality. And I think that Aaron Trimpe is telling her girls that they need to be tough, that they need to stick in it, that they need to be physical with this Fishers team. And
comparing both of these teams in 12 categories, just based off of team stats, Carmel's leading in only one category, and that's turnovers compared to this Fishers team. 16 turnovers per game for this Carmel team, while turnovers aren't an issue for Fishers, only averaging 14 a game. So passing may be something that Aaron Trimpe focused a lot in for practice, as it's going to be a quick shot for this Fishers team. Rebound right away, and it's just going to be to the line. Foul is going to be called, and Morgan Roberts is going to go to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, that was a blocking foul on Keatlin Gatlin against Morgan Roberts.
Excuse me, that's actually Kate Thomas is going to go to the line. So we're going to see if she can knock down these 2 shots. Gigi, stats-wise, this Carmel team is the big underdog here. Almost every single category is swayed to the other side for Fishers. We're seeing a lot of rebounds overall for this Fishers team, averaging 28 a game, while Carmel's only averaging 21. That's something to really look at. Offensive rebounds as well, 6, almost 7 rebounds for this Carmel team, as it's going to go out of bounds. Fought for the ball, and turnover once again. I think that's going to be the first turnover for Carmel, something to look at. Just don't want to get up to that 16 turnovers early.
Yeah, you know, you're right about that, Casey. And I know that Fishers is a very good team, but they have had a total of 17 turnovers in their worst loss to Fort Wayne Snyder. So when this team gets panicked, when they get desperate, they do start to play recklessly with that ball, and they do manage to get a lot of turnovers. So if Carmel can force that on them, if Carmel can make them a little bit nervous, then Carmel will definitely have a chance in this game.
And it looks like Riley McBride just checked in. We saw her earlier throughout the season be injured with a lower body injury, but she has a brace on her right ankle. And this Carmel team is going to stick to their 2-3 zone. Mallory Burkwan is going to guard the top scorer, Olivia Smith. Ball is just going to be passed around at the top of the arc, and it's going to be Carrion Scott. And quick three-pointer from the right wing. Ball's going to go out of bounds, regain possession for this Fishers team. Terrion Fisher tried to dive for the ball, but Fishers offense is just getting a lot of possessions here. Score still 2-4 with 4 minutes and 24 seconds left to play. Gigi, only 1 foul called, but we did think that foul when Terrion Fisher drove into the paint earlier should have been called, but the refs just are letting them play a lot of physical play, a lot of fighting for the ball. Gigi, is that something that we're going to see constantly throughout this game?
Yeah, Casey, this is a very high-stakes game for Carmel. Not so much for Fishers because they're not the underdog here, but I think that Carmel's going to keep fighting and forcing fouls on Fishers. So, yes, I do think we'll be seeing this throughout the rest of this game.
Absolutely, and it's going to be Olivia Smith just going to pass it up once again to Scott. Scott's going to take it at the top of the key, give it over to Harris. Harris is going to give it back up to Smith. Smith is kind of a sharpshooter, but she's going to be guarded now by Mackenzie Thomas, or Mackenzie Woods, throughout the most of this game. Valerie Burkwan and Mackenzie Woods both kind of guarding her, knowing that those are their strongest defenders. Mackenzie Woods most recently had 3 steals in the last game that Carmel played, and Mallory Burkwan's kind of a leading scorer as well. But a lot of fans are clapping right now, Gigi. This Carmel defense is kind of shutting down a strong scoring offense early in this first quarter. 2-4, 3 minutes, 30 seconds left to play, and it's going to be a quick shot for this Fishers team off the back rim, and a rebound off the foot Ball's going to go out of bounds. Big mistake there, and that was Kate Thomas who had the mistake there.
Yeah, and that was number 15, Taylor Harris, with the second three-pointer attempt of that possession. She missed both of them, so she is 0 for 2, and the entire Fishers team is now 0 for 2 on three-pointers. And our Carmel's crowd started clapping because Carmel managed to shut down that brutal Fishers offense for a total of about 1 minute, 60 seconds. That was absolutely fantastic.
Mackenzie Woods is going to have it at the left wing, gives it up. She's going to give it up to Hannah Lack. Hannah Lack also being a leading scorer. Gives it up to Riley McBride. Riley McBride fouled on the shot that may be swayed her way. I did not really see much contact. Refs did miss an early call with Taryn Fisher driving to the rim and getting smacked in the back of the head. But Riley McBride is just going to drive in, get the ball passed right to her. And she's going to go for the shot to the line for 2 shots.
That was number 4, Jordan Smith of Fishers with the foul. Now let's see Riley McBride. First shot is up and just off the rim.
It's going to be a substitution. Fisher's going to come out, and it looks like Lauren Perry is going to come into the game. The 6'1" sophomore playing that shooting guard position. Being 6'1", I would not really put someone there at that shooting guard position. I would kind of put them down in the paint with how tall they are, trying to use some hook shots and get to the paint and draw some fouls. But Aaron Trimpe, being the coach of this Carmel team, a little frustrated with how the season has gone, but this game may change with the score 3-4. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the first quarter of play. Carmel shutting down one of the strongest teams in Indiana with the 16-2 Fishers team, as Olivia Smith is just going to big body into the paint and get a quick hook shot to give this Fishers team a 3-point lead.
You're absolutely right about that, Casey. And Olivia Smith, she had to absolutely fight for that. She tried to do a fancy spin move. It didn't work out, so she eventually had to body her way to right under the basket. That's just another great example of Carmel's defense and Fishers' ruthless offense.
Olivia Smith, once again, ball's going to be tipped out of her hands, but regained possession by Jordan Smith. Jordan Smith is going to look for a pump game, give it back up to Olivia Smith, feeds it down low to Kate Thomas. And Riley McBride fighting for the ball. It's going to be a jump ball called. Possession is going to stay here for this Fishers team. Substitutions as well for this Fishers. Really, Carmel's not looking to their bench so often early in this game. 3-6, 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to play. Gigi Fishers is trying to use their depth that they have to try and regain some energy and stamina for their players. Are they going to look forward to really diving deep into their depth of their bench, or are they going to try and stick with their top scorers out on the floor?
Right now, I think Fishers is going to stick with their top scorers. With Carmel's very surprisingly good defense, I honestly was not expecting them to come out with this strong of a front of defense. But I think Fishers will definitely be sticking with their top scorers because right now they are currently struggling against Carmel's defense. And
it looks like Fishers is going to switch to a press defense, trying to get in the heads as Mallory Burkwan's going to take the ball at the top of the key. Nice spin move, tries to draw on the paint, and it's going to be called a travel on her, something we don't see often. She must have picked up her feet and tried to just travel across the country there, but couldn't see much from where we are up here from the stands.
And now it is going to be number 33 for Fishers, Allison Shu with the ball.
Allison Shu is going to take the pass, and looks like it's going to be Talia Harris who's going to take the inbound. Carmel's going to try and run a 3-2 zone press defense. Not something we see quite often in high school basketball, but as we just see, it's going to be Haley Smith, a top scorer, once again, just drives in, and she's going to be up there on the board for her first 2 points. A lot of scoring from actually Alicia Triplett and Haley Smith, and something to look at is those two players are going to try and split the ball and drive to the basket and take advantage of the size that they have against this kind of not tall but light Carmel team.
Yeah, absolutely. Haley Smith really had to maneuver around Mackenzie Wood's defense in order to get that layup. I was very surprised that she even got it, but that just shows how good of a player she is.
And Fishers is going to have possession. It's going to be Haley Smith once again. She does a nice bounce, hard pound ball, and just another quick basket for this Fishers team. 3-10. Carmel's defense is kind of giving up right now. We're going to see if they can step it up as a bad pass from Mackenzie Woods. Fishers are going to have possession once again over to Haley Smith. Another great basket from her, and Aaron Trimpe is going to call another timeout, second of the game. Scored 3-12 with 50 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
That was number 33, Allison Shu with the steal, dribble down the court to Olivia Smith with the layup. It is now 12-3. Fisher's Tigers leading the Carmel Greyhounds. Casey, you and I have seen a lot of good defense from Carmel, a lot of good offense from Fishers. The overall Carmel's defense has proven just not quite good enough to match the number 4 team in the state of Indiana's offense. What do you think?
Now, you know, Gigi, the defense from this Carmel team is something to look at. A lot of steals throughout the entire season. We see them get 6.1 steals a game, but Fishers is just the dominating team, averaging 10 steals a game in 1 block, almost 1.5 blocks per game. So defense may be something to look at. We've seen them so far force a lot of turnovers. Carmel already up in 4. If they keep this up, Carmel's going to reach the threshold of 16 turnovers that they average every game. And I think that they may even get more with how strong that this Fishers defense has played. Now, points-wise, GG, Carmel's kind of held Fishers to only 12 points in the first quarter, averaging 60 almost in the entire season, this Fishers team is, but Carmel averaging 45. Now, something to look at, GG, is passing. Passing is an issue. We saw Mackenzie Woods have a bad pass. It was kind of tipped out of her hands, but no one was there, so a lot of bad communication out there on the court.
Yeah, you're right about that, Casey. Mackenzie Woods took a big risk there, and honestly, at this point in the game, with Mackenzie Woods being double-teamed on the court right now, Carmel cannot afford to take any risks. And just as I was talking, Haley Smith tipped the ball right out of Hannah Latch's hands over to, that was Jordan Smith with the shot and the 2 points, 2 more points on the board for Fisher. So that is now 14-3, Tigers leading the Hounds.
14-3 in the 5th turnover for this Carmel team. Something to continue to look at is the turnover number is going to continue to rise if Carmel cannot do good passing, as Mallory Burkwan is going to get fouled after, I think she tried to pass the ball, but the refs are just going to give the foul. They're going to call a blocking foul. It looks like more substitutions are coming in. Taryn Fisher and Jamie Elliott are going to come in. Also, it's going to be Kate Thomas is going to come in for this Fishers team. So lots of substitutions, just trying to get some girls the rest that they need to play the rest of the game. 3-14 with 12 seconds left to play. Carmel with the inbound. Taryn Fisher to take it. Throws it up to Jamie Elliott, but once again, Olivia Smith with another steal. 7 turnovers for this Carmel team, and she's going to take it to the basket. We see there be a absolute monster everywhere out on the court. Mallory Burkhorn with the drive, and ball's just going to be stripped right out of her, and it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Carmel.
You know, Casey, we have seen about 3 or 4 turnovers just within the last 5 minutes of playing. Like you said, Carmel's defense is starting to crumble. I think that they're taking too many risks, but honestly, this Fishers team just knows exactly when to hop in when the ball is passed, and to try and take that ball away, and they have done so 3 or 4 times throughout this past 5 minutes.
Something I want to note, Gigi, is this Fishers team is not giving up on defense. They're right in the face for every time Carmel gets the ball. They're right there with a hand on the face and a hand where the ball is, and that's what you teach players when they're young about basketball and defense. You want to slide your feet and have one hand in the person's face and one hand on the ball side. And Gigi, we continue to state the stats for both teams. Something to also look at is turnovers we've always talked about, but assist number is something to also look at. Fishers leading in that category once again against Carmel. Fishers averaging 12.1 assists, so just 12 assists per game. And so far we've seen 4 assists from them. So if they keep it up, they're going to reach that margin and possibly go over it. I think they may be close. In my opinion, Gigi, I think they may get up to 20 assists. And we don't really see that number reached in high school basketball. Most of the time you see that in NBA or WNBA games.
No, you're absolutely right about that, Casey. And I do want to contrast those numbers with some Carmel stats. Mackenzie Woods has 3.2 assists per game, which is a lot more than Hannah Leitch and Tara Fisher, who just have under 2 assists per game. So Mackenzie Woods is definitely one of our strongest defensive and offensive players with her aggressive defense and her assists. And her skills are going to be very vital to this game, Carmel versus Fishers, as Fishers is starting to gain the upper hand as they are 13 points ahead currently with 8 minutes to go in this half.
8 minutes to go in the second quarter of play. Score 3-16. Carmel not being able to score any points in the last 7 minutes of play. Clock has not started yet, and no one has noticed it, but it looks like Carmel's just going to have the ball. Carmel's going to try and drive in. Ball is going to be called, and it's going to be a foul called, and it's going to be Lauren Perry to the line.
Yeah, Lauren Perry looked like she was struggling with that. She got the ball up, but it just barely hit the bottom of the baseboard. You know, Carmel can barely even get the ball above the basket with this Fishers defense.
And what we can see so far is that Lauren Perry, she is one of strong players. Lauren Perry here is a sophomore. She's one of the tallest players out on the court as well, being 6'1". And a lot of sophomores on this Carmel team. So far, I believe there's going to be 7 sophomores called up to play on this varsity squad. Like we noted earlier, they're kind of in that rebuild mode for this Carmel team. Rebuilding is something that they want to look at. They lost a lot of seniors last year. Sophie Shepard, a junior who played for this team last year, not deciding to play this year and focusing more on soccer. A very athletic player and a big loss to this Carmel team for them now being 3-15. But so far, 4-16 with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to play in the second quarter of play. Ball's going to be stolen right away. Riley McBride with the steal over to Lauren Perry. Lauren Perry's going to direct traffic here, wait for her players to move down. Jamie Elliott with a nice cut, and Lauren Perry with a great feed. Jamie Elliott with a great layup.
That absolutely took the Fishers defense off guard. Jamie Elliott was almost completely open under the basket. Fishers was not expecting a pass there, and that was a very good play by Carmel. Now the ball is out on Carmel, and it will be number 15, Taylor Harris for Fishers, taking the inbound for Fishers.
Now Taylor Harris, we see her being one of those top scorers as well for this Fishers team, averaging about 10 points, and a great steal by Mallory Burkwan.
With the steal. What a play. Hold an Uno reverse card on this Fishers team with that steal.
And Taryn Fisher's going to try and drive into the paint, get a little stuck right there, looking for her players to move around. Ball's going to be taken out, but she's going to pick up her dribble. She has a chance for a reverse layup, and she takes it off the front rim. Rebound once again for Olivia Smith. Olivia Smith is going to try and drive in on Mallory Burkwan. Great crossover. She drives in, and the and one for her as she falls down to the ground and goes to the line for one shot.
What a play for Olivia Smith. She has been the strongest player out there for Fishers tonight. Haley Smith is normally the top leading scorer for Fishers, but tonight Olivia Smith has come through and she has shown that she is just as good as her twin sister.
And she's going to go at the line for one shot, taking her time here. This is where players try and take the deep breath and get focused into the game with Brooke Thorne with the rebound. She's going to give it over to Taryn Fisher, who's kind of been a rising star, getting a lot more playing time every game. Izzy Shepard is out. Now missing Izzy Shepard is a big issue for this Carmel team. She was a top scorer, top defender, and top three-point shooter. Most recently, before she was injured against Warren Central, we saw her hit 7 3-pointers in that game to total 28 points. So losing someone who's a big scorer and big defender is a big issue, as Mallory Burkwan loses her footing but gets right back on Olivia Smith. Ball is going to fly back over to Jordan Smith. Fishers is just dominating this Carmel team early, and ball is going to go off the back rim as Brooke Thorne grabs her second rebound.
Brooke Thorne with the ball now dribbling up, passes it over to Lauren Perry.
Jamie Elliott is going to have the ball at the right wing as two players for Fishers fall down, and Taryn Fisher with a quick layup as Carmel is going to only be down now by 10, 8-18, 5 minutes, 57 seconds left as Fishers is going to take a 30-second timeout here. Gigi, what have we seen so far?
Well, Casey, we've seen Carmel regain their footing. About 3 or 4 minutes ago, it looked like they were going to lose this game by a lot more than just 10 points. But now they're still 10 points behind, but they have regained their footing. They are getting better. They are no longer seemingly just hopeless as they were about 4 minutes ago.
No, I would not say that. It's a close game, 10 points down. I would not count Carmel out so early, Gigi. You did think that they're going to lose here, but even though this Fishers team is a dominating force, one to reckon with, only losing 2 games on the season while Carmel's lost 15 in total. So far, they're kind of not being able to get some of their shots that they want and not getting passes because Mallory Burkwan being an asset on defense, kind of tipping passes and getting steals early. As once again, another turnover for Fishers. Or it looks like ball went off the backboard, but they're still going to keep possession. And they're going to say it was a tipped ball, and it was out of bounds on, I think it might have been out of bounds on Lauren Perry, and they're just going to give the ball back to Fishers on this. Refs still talking about it as they blow their whistle, and ball is going to go into play. Fisher's just looking to Olivia Smith once again, kind of being the star player. Her and her sister both twinning out there, having 6 points each, kind of being big defense as the tip pass, and that's going to be Fisher with a steal. Fisher's going to have the ball at the left wing, gives it up to Mallory Burkwan. tries for the pump fake spin move, drives into the rim. You see her take a lot of her shots from the inside the arc. Not big on three-pointers as she misses that one off the back rim. It's going to be Haley Smith who has the ball for this Fishers team. Looking to pass. Ball's now going to go over to Talia Harris. Talia Harris is now going to give it up to Shu. Shu just played in the JV game as Olivia Smith for three. It's going to go off, and it's going to be off the back rim. Taryn Fisher's going to have the ball. It's a 4-on-5 fast break right now. She has Jamie Elliott to her right, but she passes it up as she's going to try and drive in. No one's really moving around. Mallory Burkwan's going to have the ball at the top of the key. Spin moves, drives into the rim. No foul called. Arms are straight up. And it's going to be a fast break opportunity now for Fishers. Fishers going to drive in. No foul called as Brooke Throne used her body and arms are straight up. And now Fishers are just going to regain possession, kind of slow it down to go at their own pace. Olivia Smith is going to now give it up to Harris over at the right wing. Back to Smith. Smith is going to dribble it to the left wing. Back over to Shu. Shu's going to now just give it over to Haley Smith. Ball's going to go down low. Big body play right there by Allison Shu.
And now it'll be number 22, Brooke Lauren for Carmel with the ball. Hands it over to Taryn Fisher.
Taryn Fisher's going to triple it up past the timeline here. 8-20 with 4 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Jamie Elliott is going to catch the high pass. Mallory Burkwan tries to drive in, regains possession. She has the ball. She drives in. Foul called. And it looks like Olivia Smith is telling her players, keep those hands up. We don't want Mallory Burkwan, who gets most of her points from the free throw line, averaging, I want to say 9 points per game, but she's shooting the best from the free throw line, 88% from the free throw line, a number that's going to continue to rise if she can knock down these two shots.
First shot is up, and it is no good for Mallory Burkwan. You know, Casey, that was her third attempt in about the last minute and a half at getting a basket. And although the first two attempts were no good, she did manage to get a foul, and she has missed one free throw. She has one more.
And we just saw Mackenzie Woods checked in for Carmel as Mallory Burkwan knocks down her second shot, scored now 9-20 with 4 minutes left to play in the second quarter of play. And it's going to be Allison Shu going to get trapped in the corner, gives it down to Olivia Smith, and it's going to be a charge. Carmel's fans are now hyped up after that one. Taryn Fisher took that one to the ground, and ball's now going to go over to the Carmel team.
That was a very aggressive play, Casey. It's almost like Smith didn't even realize that Taryn Fisher was right there in front of her when she went for that shot. But nonetheless, Carmel now got the foul, and now it's going to be Hannah Lack with the inbound over to Mackenzie Woods.
Now, something to note is that this Fishers team only averages 18 fouls a game. So far, they are at 6 just in this second quarter, so they may be getting close to that, while Carmel has only 2 fouls committed. Mackenzie Woods is going to get trapped, but gives it up to Taryn Fisher once again, and another quick layup for 11-20. Taryn Fisher leading this Carmel team in points in this game. We've seen her kind of rise up to the occasion. So far, we've seen her score 7 points in this game. Gigi, we continue to say she's the rising star for this Carmel team, and she is playing like it.
You know, Casey, that was an excellent play by Mackenzie Woods. She was over nearly by the half-court line, double-teamed, and she managed to get that pass over to Taryn Fisher, who is standing right under the basket. Great play by Carmel.
And it's going to be Haley Smith with the ball, tries to drive in on Mackenzie Woods, and it's going to be Hannah Latch who's going to come over to try and help. Ball's going to now fly over to Jordan Smith, drives in. Ball's going to be ripped away, but they're going to call a foul on Taryn Fisher. It may have looked like she was trying to rip the ball, but she may have grabbed on the arm of Jordan Smith while she was trying to drive in, and it's going to be a substitution now for this Fishers team. It looks like it's going to be Morgan Roberts is going to come out as Kate Thomas goes in.
You know, Casey, trying to get a steal while another player is driving is definitely a very risky play. You're basically asking for a foul because there's no way you cannot catch their arm while going for that ball.
And it's going to be Olivia Smith to hold the ball at the top of the key as Mackenzie Woods is going to guard her. Mallory Burkwan now is going to guard Talia Harris as it's going to be a switch. Talia Harris is going to drive in off the back rim. Taryn Fisher with her second rebound. She has Mallory Burkwan to the right, but she's going to have the open three, but she's going to pass it up as she gives it up to Mackenzie Woods for three, and it's going to be just an air ball. Ball's going to now go to Fishers. It's going to be the 8th turnover now for this Carmel team. They kind of slowed down on their turnovers in the second quarter, and we've only seen them give up 2 while they gave up 6 earlier in the first.
And now it'll be Olivia Smith, guarded by Mackenzie Woods.
Olivia Smith is going to drive in, try and shake off Mackenzie Woods, but she can't. Goes for the spin move. Ball is going to be tipped out by Riley McBride. Mallory Burkwan on the drive as ball is going to be stripped away from her off the foot of a Haley Smith. And it's going to stay with the Carmel Greyhounds. Gigi, Haley Smith getting back there to strip the ball out of Mallory Burkwan's hands. She's putting everything she has out on the court. What have you seen from her in this game?
You know, Casey, I've not seen Haley Smith hold back once. She is probably, her and her sister Olivia Smith are definitely the most aggressive players out there on the court from Carmel or Fishers. It was very clear that she was not meaning for that ball to go out. She was very frustrated when it did. But nonetheless, it's now Mackenzie Woods with the pass to Hannah Locke with the shot, and it is good. Another 2 points on the board for Carmel. It is now 13-20. Carmel Hounds losing to the Fishers Tigers with 2:10 to go in this half.
And now it's going to be Harris for this Fishers team to dribble it up to the middle of the court. She's going to have it at the top of the key. Mackenzie Woods is going to now guard her, sliding her feet well, not getting her feet tripped up. Ball's now going to swing over to the left side of the court. Taryn Fisher with great defense. This ball's going to be fed down to Kate Thomas, and it's going to be an and one. Foul called on Hannah Latch, just pushed her while she went up for the shot. Something that you can't do. You want to keep your hands straight up to try and get a block shot or even get in the head of the other player while they try and shoot. But it looks like the coach for this Fishers team, that's going to be, I think that's going to be Jenny Brooks. The assistant coach is talking to her girls saying, hey, calm down. We have a chance to win this game. As ball's going to be ripped out of Kate Thomas's hands. Hannah Latch is going to drive in, going to take it back out. Mackenzie Woods is open. She's going to hand it over to her. Mackenzie Woods with the drive and the foul, and she's going to go to the line for 2 shots.
Kenzie Woods hit the ground hard on that one, but I think it was worth it for her as Carmel gets another 2 free throws.
2 free throws here. Aaron Trimpe talking to Hannah Latch and Taryn Fisher, the 2 leading scorers here for this Carmel team. Riley McBride, Mallory Burkwan out there as well on the floor. And on the other side, it's going to be Jordan Smith. It's also going to be Kate Thomas, Olivia Smith, Allison Shue, and also the sister, Haley Smith, all out there on the court. And another substitution here. Kayana Scott is going to come in just as Allison Shue is going to go out. So substitutions here, reaching deep in the depth of this Fishers team, trying to get the girls some rest before halftime. As the score now is going to go to 15-22. Carmel closing out a big lead that Fishers had before the second quarter started. As Fishers is now just going to have the ball. Taryn Fisher playing very aggressive defense, not backing off one bit. This is one big game for Carmel. If they knock off top 4 team in the state of Indiana, their ranking may go up, but it's really more of just looking at the sectional round of the playoffs now for both teams, seeing how they can improve now with these only 3 games left in the regular season. As Fishers is going to have the ball, it's going to be Kiana Scott wide open, and it's going to be once again off the back rim, as that was Talia Harris with the shot. Taryn Fisher is going to have it for Carmel now. Pass up the midline. She has Hannah Latch to her right, but she's going to pass it up. She's looking for her players to move around. Gives it up to Mackenzie Woods. Mackenzie Woods is going to have it at the top of the key, guarded by one of the most aggressive players here in the state of Indiana, Haley Smith. Mackenzie Woods trapped a little bit, doesn't want to travel. Gives it up to Hannah Latch. She has the ball, but it's going to be fought for the ball, and it's going to be a timeout now called by Aaron Trimpe, trying to get her girls out of a sticky situation there.
Yeah, absolutely, Casey. And that was Mackenzie Woods' second time being double teamed by this Fishers squad in the last 5 minutes, and she both times has not given up the ball, and neither has Hannah Latch. If that is not an excellent example of Carmel's resilience, then I don't know what is.
Now, a little bit of arid defense out here from this Fishers team. We're seeing them kind of dry up on defense, kind of giving up a lot of free shots here for Carmel, driving into the basket and really getting the shots that they want, while Carmel's kind of being that stronghold of a defense, kind of holding down their side of the ball, not really allowing Fishers to get the shots they want. They're playing that hardcore defense that you like to see, and we're kind of seeing Aaron Trimpe switch up defense. We saw her go from a press 2-3 zone to man to back to zone, so she's kind of throwing a lot of different looks against this Fishers offense, which is something that you kind of see in the game of football, where you kind of want to throw a lot of different coverages against offense. So we're going to see if that's going to continue up. With 46 seconds left to play, score 15-22. Gigi, what's something that Fishers is going to have to change to not let this Carmel team make a comeback?
Honestly, Casey, I'm not sure if Fishers needs to change anything. They are playing excellent basketball out there on the court, and even though Carmel's been switching up their defense style a lot, Fishers has still remained constant and steadfast and very consistently good playing. So I think that Fishers just needs to keep doing what they're doing, and Carmel needs to step up a little bit on offense.
It's going to be Hannah Latch in the inbound pass, looking for Mallory Burkwan, but she's going to give it up to Mackenzie Woods at the top of the key. Great behind the back, just going to spin around as Mackenzie Woods is going to try and find a way to drive into the paint. Great behind the back, has a chance to drive in. She drives in, no foul called, grabs her own rebound. Ball's going to be tipped out of her hands, and it's going to go out of bounds. Carmel's going to regain possession.
No, that was a great play by Mackenzie Woods. She did not stop for 1 second. She didn't even doubt herself. She put up her own shot and got her own rebound. That was excellent play. And now it is Hannah Latch with the ball. Rebound, shot is up, and that is 2 more points for Carmel. Excellent play by Carmel. They are now only 5 points behind the Fishers Tigers. You can feel the tension in this arena as the Carmel fans are getting more hopeful that their team might pull this out.
Now, this may be the best defense that we've seen from this Carmel team. Most notably, this may be some of the best defense that we've seen from them since their Fort Wayne Southside win, where they're only allowed Fort Wayne Southside to score 27 points while they scored 70. Now, I don't think Carmel's going to hit the threshold of 70 points scored in this game, but they may hold one of the top scoring offenses with the two twins, Haley Smith and Olivia Smith, to kind of slow down their scoring, as we're seeing Olivia Smith now talk to Haley Smith over on the sideline, telling her sister, calm down, this game can be on our hands. But we're going to see if Kate Thomas, who's been at the line so far 3 times, is going to make these free throws, as that one's going to bounce off the back rim and hit in, as the score now is going to go 17-23, 5 seconds left to play. Aaron Trimpe over there for this Carmel team, sitting next to the assistant coach, Jeff Carter, talking about what plays should we draw up before the second quarter's done. Ball's going to go off the back rim, and it's going to be no shot called. A violation is going to be called on Kiara Scott, and ball's just going to go out of bounds, as this Fishers team is going to try and run a press defense and not let Carmel have a chance at a last-second shot. Mackenzie Woods is going to inbound the ball. She's going to have it behind the back. Clock is ticking down. Mackenzie Woods is going to have to take a shot. She passes it up to Hannah Latch, and no shot. Gigi. Close second quarter. Score 17-23. We've seen a lot of great play out of both teams. Fishers kind of let up on the gas pedal there, kind of slowing down, but Carmel full throttle throughout this entire second quarter. What did you see out of them?
Well, you know, Casey, I saw Carmel lose a little bit of their energy going into the second quarter, but they got that right back up in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter. They stepped up their offense, they stepped up their defense, and Fishers couldn't do much to stop a great many of their shots, whereas Carmel still needs to work on their defense. When it comes to Fishers, very strong offense. Carmel still stepped up significantly. I definitely thought they were going to be losing by a lot more than 6 points come halftime. So I'm very proud of this Carmel team. And I think that Fishers is definitely not happy about this.
And with that, we're going to send it down to the court for our halftime show. And it looks like it's going to be our Carmel Greyhounds cheerleaders to give us a great performance for our halftime. Hello and welcome back to the Eric Clark Activity Center after a great halftime performance from our Carmel cheerleaders and the Carmel Charisma Dance team. We're getting back to some action. Carmel looking to not take their foot off the gas pedal. Wow, this Fishers team getting a little caught up in the net. No pun intended there. But we're going to see what they can do to try and bounce back after only being up by 5. This Carmel team is going to find a way, actually up by 6. This Carmel team is going to try and find a way to take the lead and possibly knock off the 4th ranked team in the state of Indiana. This Fishers team being 16-2, getting it kind of handled to them by a 3-15 Carmel Greyhound team. Gigi, we saw a great first half of play. Is this Carmel team going to keep it up, or are they going to take their foot off the gas pedal?
Well, as long as the Carmel Pep Band keeps the hype going around here, I think Carmel will definitely keep their foot on the gas and keep it going throughout the rest of this game. Let's see what they can do.
And that Carmel Pep Band bringing a lot of hype to this game. A lot of energy is brought from the band playing songs that everyone knows, such as Funky Town, Thriller, and we love to hear it, and it gets players in the great groove of playing. As Fishers is going to have the ball, it's going to be Harris for Fishers. Is going to give it up to Smith. Smith is going to back down to Harris, and Harris is going to have a quick layup as Mackenzie Woods was too slow to get there, and score's now going to go up to 17-25 with 7 minutes and 33 seconds left to play in this third quarter of play. Taryn Fisher's going to have it at the top of the key, passes it down low to Sheldon Gatlin. Ball's going to now tip over to Mackenzie Wood. She's going to drive in, free layup for her, and she's just going to miss it, and ball's going to go off her hands and out of bounds. Gigi, miscommunication there by this Carmel team. First possession in the second half for Carmel. It's going to be no points, while Fishers got points right away. What did we see? Well,
we saw Carmel play some pretty sloppy basketball just right there. Fishers' passes are always very clean and concise, and they always make their shots, whereas Carmel's passes can be all over the place. That's why they've had so many turnovers. That's why Fishers has had so many steals, and that's why Carmel doesn't make their shots as often as Fishers does. So if I'm Aaron Tribby, I'm telling that team we need to work on this during practice.
Great defense by Hannah Lack as she tries to drive in, ball off the back rim once again. 2 missed possessions for Carmel. Ball's now going to go over to Haley Smith for Fishers. She's going to feed it over to Jordan Smith, and ball's just going to go off the fingertips. A little bit of butterfingers from her. She could have regained possession for Fishers, but ball's going to be turned over, and Carmel's going to have possession as Hannah Latch is going to have the ball and gives it up to Mackenzie Woods, who's going to give it back over to Hannah Latch. Gives it up now to Gatlin. Gatlin's going to give it over to Mackenzie Woods. Woods is going to find a way to drive into the paint or maybe pass the ball and get a teammate wide open. Double team now once again. 3-2 zone from this Fishers team as Gatlin's going to lose the ball, and ball's just going to be passed up to Harris for Fishers. And Jamie Elliott there with great defense to stop the shot from even getting put up, thinking that could have been a block, but it looks like Harris just tried to drive in, and she's going to go for 2 shots.
You know, Casey, that was another example of what we just talked about like 30 seconds ago. Carmel's miscommunication, sloppy playing. I saw Mackenzie Woods and Keaton Gatlin both go for the ball at the same time, the pass from Hannah Lack. That was just unacceptable for a varsity team, in my opinion.
And Talia Smith is going to miss her first, Talia Harris, excuse me, is going to miss her first shot from the free throw line. This is where you get free points. Take a little bit of a break from the game, catch your breath. We're going to see if she can hit her second one as the ball's up, and it's good. So Fishers is now going to take a 17-26 lead as they're going to continue to have the full court press. I think they noticed that Carmel kind of could not break it earlier in the first half, so we're going to see if their coach, Lauren Vautois, is going to continue to keep it up, and she has throughout the second half. 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go, and we're going to see if Carmel can have a chance to finally put some points with their 4th possession of the game as Mackenzie Wood is going to retreat a little bit to the midline, take it from the top of the key, gives it over to the Gatlin. Gatlin is going to try and drive in. She has 2 players to her right. She's going to give it over to Woods. Woods with a great pump fake, drives in, post shot, and it's going to be off the fingers and off the back rim as it's going to be Olivia Smith is going to drive in. Her and her sister, Haley, both kind of being the leading scorers for this Fishers team throughout the game as Mackenzie Woods is going to have a great rebound, and it's going to be a travel called as she slipped right there.
And Mackenzie Woods has not had the best start to her second half. That shot she just missed, she probably should have made. That was nearly wide open, but nonetheless, she is still a very valuable asset, and let's see what she can do for the rest of this game.
as it's going to be Harris is going to try and just throw up the ball, and Olivia Smith is now going to have it. It's going to go over to Haley Smith. Twins out there, and these twins have a great chemistry between each other. We've seen a lot of passing between them, and the points both scored 6 points from them. Every player out there for this Fishers team has points in the box score, while for Carmel, 4 out of the 5 players have scored. So no one-man team here. Every single player out on the court is able to put up a shot and get some points on the board, which is something that you like to see. It's not a one-man team like a lot of high school basketball is. As Taryn Fisher gets the steal, she's going to take it down the floor. She has someone to her right, but she uses the body. It's going to be a blocking foul. It's going to now be called on Olivia Smith. She's a little frustrated with that, thinking it could have been a charge, but we're going to see if that frustration is going to turn into energy and a little bit of a bigger motor for her to try and continue to score the ball, as she has put up 7 shots in this game, only being able to knock down 3.
And that was Mackenzie Woods with the inbound pass for Carmel.
Mackenzie Woods is going to be on the inbound pass. It looks like Carmel's going to be running a double screen towards the bottom, as Jamie Elliott is going to have it at the top wing. She's going to give it to Mackenzie Woods. Mackenzie Woods has the 3. Quick closeout, and it's going to be off the back rim. And a great offensive rebound by Taryn Fisher, and it's going to go in. Taryn Fisher is going to give the first possession, and first points are going to be up on the board. And it's going to be a quick timeout for this Fishers team. And it looks like Lauren Vautois is a little angry at her player, saying, you need to lock up your player. You need to box them out. As Aaron Trempe's Lady Hounds are able to kind of get this Fishers team on the heels, as they're only down by 7. We're going to see what they can do.
Yeah, you know, Casey, if I were Fishers head coach Lauren Vautois, I'd be very frustrated with my team as well, being ranked number 4 in the state, as we've said many times, losing to a 3-15 team like Carmel winning by only 7 points to a 3-15 team like Carmel. Even though it's still a win for this Fishers team so far, I think Lauren Vautois thinks that her team should be winning by a lot more than just 7 points.
And I don't think Lauren Vautois thought this Carmel team's defense would be this strong, as Fishers is used to getting 60 points per game, while Carmel's only used to getting 45. But the threshold of only having 26 for Fishers right now, I don't think they're going to come close to that 60 points per game, while Carmel's only at 19. Carmel's kind of used to having low-scoring games, as Olivia Smith is just going to drive in and body Mackenzie Woods to the ground. Ball is going to be a little high for her, but she's going to regain possession. She's going to pass the midline. She can take as much time as she needs now. She's going to try and do a great dribble move, drive to the rim, and a great off the backboard.
What a shot by Mackenzie Woods. That was the kind of layup that we want to see from this Carmel team.
Mackenzie Woods just taking it by herself. She had the chance. Great crossover. Ball's going to be driven in now by Olivia Smith, and it's going to go in. And Mackenzie Woods is going to have a chance once again. She has Mallory Burkwan to her right. Hannah Lack is now going to come over. She's going to be tightly guarded by Olivia Smith. She's going to give it up to Mallory Burkwan. We haven't seen a lot of scoring out of her, as she's come off some strong games. Mallory Burkwan with a great shot off the back rim. Hannah Lack trying to chase down the rebound, but it's going to be regained by Olivia Smith. She's going to take it. Great Euro step, and it's off the back rim, but a foul called on Mallory Burkwan.
I think that was still some great defensive playing by Mallory Burkwan. As she progresses throughout her high school career, she's only a sophomore, she'll learn how to block shots like that without having fouls called on her, but still, nonetheless, a very good defensive move, as now Olivia Smith will go to the line with her 2 free throws.
And Mallory Burkwan, like you highlighted, just a sophomore. We saw her earlier only play 3 games in that junior varsity role, but every 3 games that she played, she was able to hit that double-digit margin. And right away, Aaron Trimpe was like, this is someone that could be a star for our team. Her and Izzy Shepard, when both of them are healthy, are a duo to watch in the upcoming future, both rising stars. While a lot of these players, when Ava Carter gets back, who's been injured throughout most of the season with a lower body injury, once this Carmel team has everyone healthy, this team is going to be one to reckon with up in the upcoming future, as Mackenzie Woods is going to try and drive in. She's going to take it. She has Jamie Elliott, but she's going to take it by herself, and a great hook shot by her, as Carmel only down by 9 now.
Excellent shot by Mackenzie Woods. She seemed to be a little bit off at the start of this half, but she has definitely regained her footing. We're seeing some excellent defensive and offensive playing from her with 4 points in the last 2 minutes.
And it's going to be a turnover there by Fishers. And it's going to be Hannah Lack for the inbound pass. Mackenzie Woods is going to be right in front of her. Taryn Fisher back there as well, as Fishers is not going to stop their full court press that we've seen throughout this game. And it's going to be hard defense by Olivia and Haley Smith, 2 hard defenders, not trying to break down anyone. Mallory Burkwan, ball's going to be stripped, but she regains possession. Looking for Taryn Fisher. Ball's going to go down to Jamie Elliott. She has it, but she's going to give it to Hannah Lack, and she's going to be 3. and it's going to be in and out. So close, but once again, Haley Smith, a top rebounder, averaging 7 rebounds a game. Behind the back, ball's going to go off the foot of Taryn Fisher. Mallory Burkon has the fast break. She goes up, great pump fake. Ball's going to be blocked. Great chase down block by Kate Thomas. Great defensive effort from this Fishers team.
No, Casey, Mallory Burkon was on top of that. Second she saw that ball get loose, she took it and she ran, and she did an excellent job with that move right there, just playing the ball so that she could get fouled, still have an attempt to get a shot, but also get fouled and get her 2 free throws. Now the first free throw is up, and it is good.
And that's the top free throw shooter for this Carmel Lady Hounds team, Mallory Burkon. She has gone 2 for 3, but averaging 88% from the line, a number that's going to continue to rise, and college scouts may look at to see that Mallory Burkon is a top shooter from the free throw line. But once again, Fisher's Carrion Scott is just going to dribble it up. Jordan Smith is actually going to have it. She's going to feed it over to Olivia Smith, who's going to try and feed it down to Kate Thomas, and she's going to have it. It's going to be off the backboard. And once again, it's a 3-on-3 fast break. Taryn Fisher's going to take it to the rack, and it's going to be out of bounds. Ball's going to be stripped out, and once again, Allison Shu is going to strip the ball, and it's going out of bounds, and Carmel's going to have possession.
It'll be Mackenzie Woods with the inbound pass for Carmel.
Mackenzie Woods is going to have the inbound pass. Mallory Burkon trying to get open. She has Jamie Elliott at the top, but she's going to give it to Hannah Lack. Thought about the shot, but she's going to feed it down to Mallory Burkon. Mallory Burkon gets fouled once again, and she's going to the line. We see her continue to draw fouls every game that she plays, and once you draw fouls, you get the other team in foul trouble, which is something that Aaron Trempe is going to continue to say. Mallory Burkon, continue to draw those fouls. You get a lot of your points from the paint. Most recently, something to highlight, Gigi, is when this Carmel team did play Fort Wayne Southside, the biggest win of the season. Mallory Burkon went 4 for 5 from the free throw line, but she also added 18 points in total, so a lot of her shots, almost all of her shots, came from inside the paint. But Mallory Burkon is going to miss both free throws, but it's going to be almost an offensive rebound. But once again, Jordan Smith is going to have it at the left wing. Tries to drive in. Ball's going to be tipped. Taryn Fisher with that great tip pass. Mallory Burkon on the floor fighting for the ball. Looks like a jump ball is going to be called, and possession is given to this Carmel team.
So that was both Mallory Burkon and Jordan Smith for Fishers on the floor fighting for that ball, along with 2 other Fishers players trying to grab the ball from above. Great job to Mallory Burkon for not giving up and holding on to that ball. Now it's Mackenzie Woods with the basketball, being guarded by Fishers' top scorer, Haley Smith.
Mackenzie Woods is going to have it at the left wing, trying to shake off Haley Smith as she gives it up to Hannah Lack. Thought about the 3, drives in, uses that big frame of hers to try and get into the paint, but she thought about a pass, but no one was around, as it's going to be a steal now for Olivia Smith. Tries to drive it in, and she almost gets the shot to go as she kind of tripped up on her own feet. Carmel has the numbers here. Mackenzie Woods is going to give it over to Lack. She thought about the 3. Jamie Elliott was there. Taryn Fisher wide open in the paint. No one was able to hit her, but Mallory Burkon has the ball, slips on her own feet. Great spin move, has the open mid-range shot, and it's good. Carmel now 26-32, a minute 33 left to play in this third quarter.
That was an excellent play by Mallory Burkon and Hannah Lack. And now we're going to see Jordan Fisher with the ball for Fishers, getting pressure from Carmel, and it's going to be, looks like a foul.
Now something to look at is the turnover numbers. Carmel's keeping it very low. So far only at 11, but on the other side of the ball, this Fishers team is up to also 12 turnovers, and they only average 15 a game, close to that number. So that number is going to continue to rise if this Carmel defense is able to continue to get their hands in those passing lanes and able to pop the ball out and continue to get steals. And we've seen them so far get 7 steals in this game, a number that may continue to rise, and they've already passed their threshold of 6.1 a game. So Carmel's continuing to get their hands in those passing lane, and it looks like it's going to be a inbound pass now down at the baseline for Fishers. It's going to be Talia Harris who's going to take it, waiting for the ball to be given to her, as this Fishers team is going to try and run some over-the-top play, and the ball is going to be inbound. It's now going to go over to Allison Shu. Allison Shu is just going to hold it. Mackenzie Woods is going to try and do a great closeout, but ball's now going to be given up to Triplet. Ball's going to go out of bounds off a Triplet, and another turnover. 12 turnovers now for Fishers. Mallory Burkon with great defense.
You know, Casey, in their only 2 losses this season, which were both back-to-back in November, Fishers averaged exactly 17 turnovers in each of those games, and now with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in this third quarter, 14 turnovers. Carmel's stellar defense is definitely causing Fishers to get nervous and forcing those turnovers on them.
Now, the last time we saw Carmel play this great defense was when they played the 10 and 16, or the 16 and 10, Westfield Shamrocks. And great defense has another steal, and Caitlin Gatlin is able to get 2 points right away. Score now 30-32 with the clock ticking down to 40 seconds. Carmel's defense has decided to wake up as Olivia Smith is trying to silence the crowd, but once again, the crowd here is getting hype as Mackenzie Woods is going to get the ball stripped by Haley Smith, and she's going to hit a quick layup, staring down her defender, but once again, it's going to be Caitlin Gatlin who's going to take it. Mackenzie Woods got the ball stripped from her, but she's going to try and do a quick spin move. She needs to get it past the timeline before the 10 seconds of her to get up there is met, but Mallory Burkwan is going to try and shake off her defender. Actually does. They're going to call
that
no
did not
foul
look good.
as Mackenzie Woods was falling to the ground hard. We've seen her play really great offense and defense this entire game, but 30-34, Carmel's holding down one of the top scoring teams, top defensive teams, top team in state of Indiana, the number 4 ranked team. This Carmel team is putting them on the back of their heels. They may be able to push down the giants known as the Fisher Tigers.
You're absolutely right, Casey. The last 20 seconds of playing by Carmel was absolutely fantastic. The 4 points back-to-back by Keaton Gatlin made Olivia Smith so nervous that she missed a wide-open layup, which she does not normally do. And now, Mallory Burkline with the layup. The score is now 32-34. Carmel losing to the Fisher Tigers by only 2 points as we go into our final quarter. The Carmel fans are getting hyped. The Fisher section is dead silent. Carmel Pep Band is getting ready to bring the hype level right back up as we are going into the final quarter of this game.
GG, this might be one of the most exciting games that Carmel has played all season. The one thing that they cannot do is take their foot off the pedal. They need to continue to get the gas going, continue to keep that car moving. Now, we have not seen a one-man team from this Carmel team, which is good. We're seeing a lot of synergized energy from this entire team. And we're seeing some air defense once again from this Fishers team, allowing Carmel to just kind of get any shot that they want. But Fishers on the other side of the ball, we're continuing to see Haley and Olivia Smith be those star players, both of them having 10 points. So it's kind of hard to tell if they're going to stop scoring, but Carmel's allowing them to get the shots that they want. We did see earlier Olivia Smith getting a little angry. We saw her slap the ground and say, oh my gosh, I should have had that. So we're going to see if she can continue that. But we also saw her be a stud on defense, get a steal right away from Mackenzie Thomas after the ball was thrown into her, and she put that one up for a layup. So Gigi, I would say the 2 star players for Fishers are playing up to what they're known to do, but also on the other side, Hannah Latch, Mackenzie Woods, Mallory Burkwan, all 3 of those players are doing what they can do to try and knock off one of the top teams in the state of Indiana.
You're absolutely right, Casey. This Carmel team is the closest it's ever been to beating a team like Fishers, and you can feel the tension in this Eric Clark Activity Center as Fishers is going to try to get ahead and Carmel is going to try to get a lead or at least maintain 2 points trailing behind the Fishers Tigers.
As it now, Fisher's going to have the ball. It's going to be Triplet who's going to hold it. Mallory Burkwan right there. She's going to try and feed it into Olivia Smith. Ball's going to be stolen right away as Caitlin Gatlin is going to dribble it past the timeline. She has Mallory Burkwan to her right, but she has Hannah Latch. It's going to be a quick shot by Lauren Perry. In and out, and it's off. That could have tied up the game there, 32-34, 7 minutes, 30 seconds left to play. And one of the top scorers, Haley Smith, is going to have the ball for Fisher. She's going to take it slow, try and make the game go at Fisher's pace. Riley McBride back into the game. We don't want to see any fouls committed here. 4 fouls and 4 fouls called on both teams. This is going to be a quick 3, not a lot of three-pointers I put up, but Lauren Perry, the 6'1" frame of hers, grabs the defensive rebound, calling for the ball. Mallory Burkwan has it. She tries to drive in. Great spin move. Hook shot, and it's good.
And it is good. The score is now 34-34. The 3-15 Carmel Greyhounds tie the 16-2 Fishers Tigers.
The Fishers back on their heels, but they're going to answer right away with a great hook shot by Alicia Triplet. And it's just going to be Caitlin Gatlin who's trying to call over Mackenzie Woods to set a screen as she can try and drive past Jordan Smith. Caitlin Gatlin is going to have the ball. Ball's going to be tipped out, but it's going to be a pushing foul called on Jordan Smith, trying to get the 1-and-1 here. But we're going to see if Carmel can do anything as Lauren Perry is going to come out, and the star player for this Carmel team, Hannah Latch, is going to come in. She's kind of stepped up to be that star player as Izzy Shepard has gone out, but 34-36, Gigi. Mackenzie Woods has the ball. Carmel has a chance to tie up the game once again and send this Fishers team kind of crying home if they can win this game. Mallory Burkwan, the ball is going to be stripped from her, but she's going to regain another steal. Keelan Gallen has the shot from 3, but she's going to try and drive in. Hands it over.
Oh, that's a travel
and
by
it's a
Hannah
travel
Latch.
called by Hannah Latch.
You know, Casey, this Fishers team is not only fighting for a win, they are fighting for their dignity. Losing to a 3-15 team is definitely not what they came into this night hoping for, but this is better than anything that Carmel could have hoped for from this game.
Now, a lot of electrifying plays have been throughout this entire game. Carmel's been able to hit the shots that they want as they get a clean block there by Mackenzie Woods. Great defense. Not a lot of blocks in this game. Carmel averaging barely 1 block a game, but so far they have 3, so that number is going to rise as Mallory Burkwan is going to have it at the top of the key. She's going to try and drive in, tries to shake off one of the top defenders in the entire league, as that's going to be Haley Smith. Gives it up to Mackenzie Woods, who's kind of been the subtle star of this team, who has 8 points in this game. She's going to hand it over to Hannah Latch, and another foul called on one of the twins, Haley Smith. We've seen them get in foul trouble. Haley Smith and also Olivia Smith both having 3 fouls, but also 10 points. So something to note is getting them into foul trouble, taking out the players to make other players for this Fishers team step up, as it's going to be a pass in for Keelan Gatlin. She's going to try and throw it up, but no one was there. Mackenzie Woods is going to have it at the backcourt. She's got to cross the midline, but guarded once again by the top defender, Haley Smith. Mackenzie Woods is going to switch it to her left, goes between the legs to her right, tries to drive in behind the back, tries to shake off the defender. Ball's going to be lost. Mallory Burkwan trying to get it. Hannah Latch is going to drive in, loses control of the ball, fights for it. It's going to be a jump ball called, and we're going to see what the refs decide. Ball's going to stay to Carmel.
That was an excellent play by Carmel. I can see that they are fighting for this game. And as Fishers gets more nervous, they are fouling a lot more, especially the twins, Haley and Olivia Smith. They need to watch those fouls. Otherwise, Carmel's, especially with Mallory Burkwan's 88% free throw shooting percentage, could definitely get at least a little bit ahead in this game.
And ball's going to go over to Hannah Latch on the left wing near the Carmel side of the bench. Riley McBride trying to call for the ball. Hannah Latch is going to try and drive in. Gives it over to Mackenzie Woods. Mallory Burkwan with a strong screen. Mackenzie Woods has it, but she's going to take the shot, and it's going to be a quick air ball. And it's going to be out of bounds on Carmel. Ball's going to stay in possession of Fishers. Keelan Gallen is going to try and do a full court press, the only player there. But we're also going to see Jordan Smith come up from the left side. The ball's going to go over to her. She's going to dribble it up past the midline. A lot of tension here. Carmel having the chance to knock down the 4th ranked team in the state of Indiana, as Carmel only winning 3 games, all against pretty weak opponents. We're going to see if they can knock down one of the strongest opponents in this entire state, as Riley McBride with great defense, and ball's just going to go right in. Olivia Smith is going to use a great body move to try and get into the paint and get a quick layup, as Mackenzie Woods has a chance. She's going to drive in. She uses great frame, and ball's just going to go off the back rim, and it's going to be a rebound now by Haley Smith. She's going to drive it now. Numbers are on her side. She has great Euro step, feeds it over to her sister, tries for the 3. She's going to drive back in. Olivia is going to have a hook shot, and 34-40, Fishers team is now waking up. They're putting the foot on the gas pedal, and it's going to be a timeout called by Aaron Treppy. Maybe a little mad at her girls for giving up some opportunities that they lost.
You know, Casey, just as Olivia Smith scored that basket just now, I was thinking to myself, Aaron Tribby should take this opportunity to take at least a 30-second timeout, get her girls back in the game, because they were so close to taking the lead. They tied the Tigers at one point, 34-34, and now Carmel Greyhounds are still stuck at 34, while the Fishers Tigers are up to 40. What do you think that Aaron Tribby is saying to her girls right now, Casey?
I think Aaron Tribby is telling them, do not stop any aggressiveness. We want to play aggressive. We're getting in the heads of these players. They have to foul us. They know that they can't stop us when we try and drive. So we're going to have to try and draw the foul when we can. I think she's going to put the ball on Mallory Burkwan, Mackenzie Wood, or even Hannah Latch. Hannah Latch has been kind of silent throughout this game. We've seen her kind of come in only slightly, only getting 4 points when she's kind of been a stellar player throughout the season with Izzy Shepard out. But if Hannah Latch can get going with the last 4 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in the 4th quarter, 34-40, I think that may be a key factor. She needs to be the X factor in this game. But on the other side of the ball, Fishers High School, the Tigers, Olivia Smith, Haley Smith, and someone that we also haven't really talked about is Talia Harris. All three of those players are contributing well. Haley and Olivia, both of them in the double figures, but Talia Harris also able to be a very big factor on defense, only having 3 points, but those 3 points is giving this Fishers team a 6-point lead.
You're absolutely right about that, Casey, and now we see our players come back to the court. It's going to be Hannah Lack for Carmel taking the inbound.
Hannah Latch for Carmel. Taryn Fisher's back in the game. Riley McBride. It's also going to be Mackenzie Woods and Mallory Burkon. Mackenzie Woods is going to have the ball inbounded into her. She's going to cross the midline here. I wonder what Erin Trimpe drew up in that huddle of hers as Mackenzie Woods is getting guarded now by one of the top defenders in Olivia Smith. She's going to hand it over to Hannah Latch. Over to Riley McBride for 3. Ball's up, and it's good!
What a shot by Riley McBride. I thought that Hannah Latch was going to go for that layup, but she gave it over to Riley McBride on the wing. What a shot. Score is now 37-40. Carmel trailing Fishers by only 3 points.
Riley McBride hitting a clutch three-pointer there, 37-40, 3 minutes and 37 seconds left in this final quarter of play. Defense chance from the fans for Carmel here as Olivia Smith is going to have it for Fisher, so she couldn't feed it down to her sister Haley. Mackenzie Woods with great defense, but the foul is going to be called when she had her hands straight up. And we're just going to continue to see that if Olivia Smith can get the ball down low, she's going to be able to draw the foul. And this is a chance for her to get 16 points in this game as she can knock down these 2 free throws. If she's able to just knock down 1, it's going to be a 4-point lead. But if she's able to knock down 2, it's a 5-point lead. And we may need another Riley McBride 3-point shot to have a closer lead. But right now, as she misses her first shot, Carmel fans are now getting up on their feet slightly. We're seeing a few of the parents here at Carmel cheering on their girls. A lot of the fans, the cheerleaders, are all hyping us up. Not the pep band, though, something to look at. We might need the pep band to start playing some more songs, but just as that, we're going to see Olivia Smith knock down her other shot. Taryn Fisher is going to have the inbound pass. She's going to go quite slow. Carmel only down 4, 37-41. As they're holding this Fishers team not even close to their 60 points that they average every game. As Mallory Burkwan is going to have the ball looking for Mackenzie Woods. She's going to try and give it up to Taryn Fisher. Taryn Fisher being able to score the ball very easily in this game. Hannah Latch thought about the 3, but she's going to try and drive in, and she's going to give it to Mackenzie Woods. Mackenzie Woods with a great shot once again, and she knocks it down. 39-41, 2 minutes and 55 seconds left to play. Gigi, Carmel's waking up, and they're doing it at the right time.
No, Casey, this has been just a fantastic final quarter. I can feel the stress from this Fishers team.
Kay Thomas thought about the 3, but she's going to give it up to Talia Harris. Talia Harris guarded now by Mallory Burkwan. She has one hand up, and that's great defense once again by Hannah Latch, trying to make her defender. Taryn Fisher, great defense, hands straight up, not trying to draw the foul, and send Olivia Smith to the line. But Olivia Smith knocks it down 39-43. Carmel down by 3. Fisher's up. Down by 4. Fisher's up by 4. We're going to see what will happen. Mackenzie Woods calling for the screen from Riley McBride. She shakes it off. She's going to try and drive in. Mallory Burkwan with a great shot off the front rim, and it's going to be a miss. And once again, Olivia Smith is going to have it. She's looking for her sister. It's actually going to be Jordan Smith for the 3, and it's good. Erin Trimpe is going to call a timeout after that. 39-46. 2 minutes and 2 seconds left to play in the final quarter of play. Gigi, the Titan known as the Fisher Tigers, is deciding to wake up here. We're seeing them have a 7-point lead. Gigi, Erin Trimpe, after calling a timeout just 2 minutes ago to talk to her girls, and Riley McBride knocking down a 3-pointer. Fishers decided to have a 3-pointer of their own and also some great offense. What do you think Erin Trimpe is talking to her girls now in the huddle?
Well, Casey, I think Erin Trimpe, again, as I said earlier, is trying to get her girls to keep their heads in the game, because it's hard with this Fishers team, especially with how fast things change. Like 15 seconds ago in the game, Carmel was only trailing Fishers by 2 points, and now Fishers is ahead by 7. And I think Erin Trimpe is just telling her girls, you need to keep up this play. You cannot take your foot off the gas, because Fishers is so intense. They're so resilient. They are not going to give up even the slightest bit, and Carmel needs to play up to their level if they want to even have a chance at tying or winning this game.
You are 100% correct, Gigi. After that 1-minute timeout, girls are coming back on the floor. Erin Trimpe drawing up some plays in there as the other coach for this Fishers team, Lauren Vaught, also drew up some plays in that huddle, telling her girls, do not take your foot off the gas pedal. Like we've said multiple times this game, continue to accelerate continue to force this Carmel team to chase you down and draw those fouls, as Hannah Latch is going to give the ball up to Mackenzie Woods. Mackenzie Wood thinking about giving it back to her, but she's going to do it. A great bounce pass. We haven't seen a lot of bounce passes in this game. They need to get the ball past the timeline in this 10-second frame. Ball's going to go over to Taryn Fisher. She had Riley McBride wide open. She's going to try and drive in, retreats to the back corner. Almost a double team, gives it over to Mallory Burkwan, loses her dribble. We've seen that happen quite a lot in this game from her. Ball's going to be fought over, but once again, Olivia Smith is going to have the ball, chased down by Hannah Latch, trying to shake her off, but she's going to give it over now to Talia Harris. Talia Harris, kind of that silent X factor for this Fishers team, directing traffic like she has this entire game. Gives it up now to Triplet, who played in that JV game earlier, but also playing now in varsity, starting actually. Ball's now going to go over to Talia Harris, and it's going to be a foul called on, it looks like foul's going to be called on Taryn Fisher.
You know, Taryn Fisher is playing some very up close and personal defense right there. I'm not surprised that a foul was called upon her, but at this point in the game, it's a little bit risky to be playing defense like that. Even though you need to be aggressive, cannot get fouls at this point in the game, trailing still by 7 points, Carmel.
And now, as Talia Harris passes it now over to Haley Smith, she's going to be guarded closely now by Mallory Burkwan. Mallory Burkwan getting in her personal bubble there. She's going to give it over to her sister Olivia Smith, who's kind of been a star player, 17 points. As the clock runs down under a minute of play to left, 39-46, and it looks like this game may be out of hands for Carmel. Gigi, 1 minute left, 39-46, less than a minute actually. Fisher's Alston Chu is going to go to the line, the sophomore for this team. If she knocks down this shot, the game may be out of reach for Carmel, but if she misses it, Carmel still has a chance, and she does. Riley McBride with the rebound. Carmel needs to move down the floor fast. Mackenzie Woods calling over her teammates. Get open, as she's telling them. She tries to feed it down to Taryn Fisher. Regains possession. She feeds it over to Hannah Latch. Mallory Burkwan has a shot, but she passes it up. Great defense by Olivia and Haley Smith. Gives it over to Taryn Fisher. She gives it over to Mackenzie Woods. Riley McBride with the screen. She looks for the pass, but it's not there. And a jump ball is called. It may stay. Possession's actually going to be given now to Fishers. Game may be out of hand now, Gigi.
You know, Casey, Fishers was just playing some Carmel-style defense right there. Very up close and personal. They knew that Carmel could have gone ahead within those 20 seconds that they had the ball, and they made sure that Carmel did not. They absolutely put their foot down in that play, in that possession by Carmel. They did not allow any shots. They did not even allow the ball to get near the basketball. I mean, to get near the goal for Carmel. So definitely some very efficient and effective defense playing from Fishers. If you have not seen very much this game, it's usually Carmel with a good defense, but nonetheless, I'm impressed with Fishers' defense right there.
I'm absolutely impressed with both teams' defense throughout this game. Carmel only winning the 3 games this season and losing 15. But this game is something to remember. Carmel was able to even tie up the game against the 4th-ranked team in the state of Indiana, this Fisher Tigers team. But Fishers being able to hit the extra motor late in the 4th quarter to take that lead up to 7 points, 39-46. Fishers is going to have the ball after this timeout. Pep Band is getting the fans hyped, but we're also seeing them kind of quiet as the Fishers fans are up on their feet, knowing that their team may have locked in another win, taking down a strong opponent tonight, as in the Carmel Greyhounds. We've seen Taryn Fisher, Mallory Burkwan, Hannah Latch, Mackenzie Woods, and Lauren Perry out on the floor. And for the other side, Jordan Smith is going to be out there with Talia Fisher. It's also going to be Haley Smith and her sister Olivia, and also Allison Chu are going to be out on the court, as Fisher's going to try and inbound the ball. Great defense so far for both teams. And the 5 seconds has been called to get the inbound in. Carmel has a chance now, as Aaron Trimpe is going to call her, I want to say, 4th timeout of the game. We're going to see if she could draw up a play here to try and hit a clutch 3-pointer, or is the game out of hands for this Carmel team, Gigi?
Yeah, try 4th timeout of the half, Casey. Aaron Trimpe has called at least 3 or 4 timeouts throughout this half, and she is just doing her best to make sure that her team even has the smallest little shot of winning or getting close to winning this game. However, already having tied this Fishers Tigers team as a 3-15 team, Carmel has still accomplished a lot, and Fishers was definitely not expecting Carmel to be this strong of a team, as Lauren Botel is definitely not happy with her girls' performance, even though they're leading by 7. Not good enough for number 4 in the state against a 3-15 team like Carmel.
And just like that, both teams break out their huddle. Mackenzie Woods, Valerie Burkwan, Lauren Perry. Lauren Perry, an interesting player to be put in the game. The 6'1" frame of her, also a three-point shooter. She's wide open in the corner. Mallory Burkwan's going to pass it up, gives it over to Mackenzie Woods. Mackenzie Woods tries to drive in, but the travel is going to be called on her. And 31.9 seconds left to play in this fourth quarter of play, and it's going to be a quick substitution as just like that, Allison Shue is going to come into the game as Triplett is going to come out. And a little bit of an issue down there on the court. It looks like Talia Harris did not have control of the ball after the ref passed it to her. And at press defense here, Carmel's just trying to get a chance to put the ball into the basket. Great defense here. Ball's going to be out of control. Hannah Latch has a chance. She regains possession. And ball's going to be out on the ground. Jump ball. Clock is going to stop. 22.9 seconds left on the clock. Carmel's going to have possession. Erin Trimpe telling her girls, we need a three-pointer here. Get open and get the right shot. Lauren Perry is going to her spot, the corner three-pointer. Taryn Fisher is going to be down low. Mallory Burkwan is going to be the person to take the pass. And hands up on defense for this Fishers team. Are they able to close out this game? Ball's going to be inbounded to Mackenzie Woods. She's going to feed it over to Hannah Latch. Hannah Latch thought about the three. She takes the mid-range, and it's off the back rim. Rebound now by Talia Harris. Foul called on Lauren Perry. 14.9 seconds left to go. 39-46 GG. This game may be out of hands for this Carmel team. But to note, they played probably the hardest game this entire season for them, and they played their entire hearts out, left everything out on the court.
You know, Casey, for once, I hate to agree with you. I think that Carmel had their chance. Carmel had their chance when they were tied at 34-34 in the third quarter, and it's just a bit too late for them now as Talia Harris just made her first free throw.
Talia Harris in the one-on-one. Once you hit that first free throw, you're able to hit the next one. That's a possibility, but if you miss the one-on-one chance and the other team gets the rebound, they're able to take that down and get a free bucket, most likely, as she hits both. Fisher still deciding to stick to that full court press, not deciding to back off when they have a 9-point lead. Mackenzie Woods is going to feed it over to Lauren Perry. Tries to tip. The ball is going to go out of bounds. Talia Harris with great defense over there. Mallory Burkwan now with the inbound. Hannah Latch. Mackenzie Woods has a chance. 6 seconds left to go. Mackenzie Woods is going to drive in, try and just pad her stats. Ball's going to go off the back rim. And the game is going to come to an end as Olivia Smith finishes it with 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. She was a star player for this Fishers team. Gigi.
Yeah, absolutely, Casey. Olivia Smith was a star player for this Fishers team, followed very closely by her sister, the leading scorer for this Fishers team throughout the Fishers season, Haley Smith. Definitely a very dynamic duo. Those twins out there were unstoppable. But from this Carmel team, Hannah Lack stepped up yet again as the leading senior of this team. And I saw Mackenzie Woods and Mallory Burkwan put everything out there on the court. They did not hold back one little bit. They had the pedal to the metal for that entire game. And I was very impressed by Carmel's performance. The end score ended up being Carmel 39, Fishers 48. A loss by Carmel, 9 points only.
Once again for this Carmel team, sending them now to 3-16. While this Fishers team is going to celebrate getting a tough win here tonight, being 17-2 now on the season. We saw this Fishers team not get caught in the net this time. The Tigers were able to break out the net, and after the game was tied to 34-34, Carmel just took their foot off the pedal and let up a little bit and was only able to score, I want to say, 5 more points. While on the other side, we saw this Fishers team led by Olivia Smith, Haley Smith, and one of my favorite players to watch, Talia Harris, kind of directing traffic the entire game. All 3 of those players were able to hit their right shots at the right time to have this win.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Casey. Honestly, if I'm Erin Trimpe, Carmel girls head coach, I'm happy with my girls' performance because they put it all out there. They tried their very best, and they still played an excellent game of basketball against the number 4 ranked team in the state. I did not come into this having high expectations for this Carmel team, but I got to be honest, they defied my expectations. They went above and beyond, much more than I thought they would. I thought they were going to lose this game by at least 10 or 15 points, but nonetheless, they ended up tying this Fishers team at one point. Very impressive for the Carmel team.
And something to note is Carmel did not let Fishers reach their threshold of 60 points, holding them to 48. Rebounds were also down for both teams, but Carmel was able to manage to get 23 rebounds this game, passing their 21, while on the other side of the ball, Fishers averaging close to 30 rebounds a game, only managing to get 25. Now, steals was also a factor. This Carmel team averaging 6 steals a game, but this game was different for them. They managed to get close up to 10. Which is something to look at. Now, turnovers, something that Carmel struggles with this entire season. They kept that down as well, Gigi. Something to look at for Aaron Trimpe's team is they played one of the toughest teams in the entire state of Indiana, but they played their hearts out.
They absolutely did. This was a very entertaining game to watch. I'm proud of the Carmel Greyhounds, and I'm also impressed with the Fishers Tigers' resilience and ability to stay cool under pressure and to pull off this win against Carmel, which is a surprisingly difficult team for this Fishers Tigers team to beat.
And with that, Gigi, I've been Casey Stephens.
I've been Gigi Welp.
This has been CHTV